have a role in making our processes more effective by eliminating waste. To understand what waste is, first we need to understand what is valuable. Our business exists and creates value by serving the needs of our customers. That in turn means that new and novel medicines can reach patients. We need to build our business processes around what our customer wants and keep the patient safe. That is what we are here for. Consider how we spend our time using a pie. The pie represents 100% of the activities in a process. There are a certain number of steps in a process that truly add value to the end customer and patient. The rest of the activities are non-value added because they do not directly serve the customer. Sometimes we have to do them because it is good business practice or to meet legal requirements, but essentially, these do not add value to the customer. In fact, most of the non-value added activity that we take our time on is truly waste because it doesn't add any value to the people paying for our service or profiting from our enterprise. When we benchmark waste in companies, we find that actually there is much more waste than you might expect. Most businesses can find 95% waste in their systems before putting in improvement plans. This is probably much more than you expected. And this is why understanding waste is important for all of us. Another way of thinking about this is to view waste like dark matter. Half of the weight of the universe is in matter that we can't actually identify. That's why they built the Hadron Collider in Switzerland, to try to find it. When you look at large organizations, they're filled with dark matter. They are filled with processes that people engage in because that's the way they've always done it. They are filled with processes that people pursue because they like it that way. They are filled with processes that are driven by fear of the unknown. Dark matter is probably the biggest problem that big companies have because it is an artifact of a world that was moving much more slowly than the world that we inhabit right now. So what are we doing that has stopped making sense? And how do you challenge this dark matter? What exactly should you be looking for? Well, we use the downtime acronym to remind us of the 8 wastes. D is for defects. Decreasing the amount of defective outputs can quickly help increase our profit margin. You can see this in wasted processing efforts and wasted materials on defective products, and wasted processing on attempts to rework or repair them. This problem can be caused by poor management of the production processes, inadequate suppliers, or unclear specifications and documentation. Ask, what is broken? What is not working? What is failing? A coffee vending machine company found that many customers were complaining about the machines breaking down. The engineers who fixed the machines were measured on how many visits they did to broken machines a day. As soon as they hit their target of 8 visits, they could go home. This led to a practice of doing the minimum work required to get a machine working. The company then changed to measuring engineers on the quality of their work rather than on the number of visits. They started measuring them on the number of days a machine was running correctly. They encouraged the engineers to do a higher quality call at a broken machine with the aim of keeping the machine working for as long as possible. The result was that the customers were happy and the machine stopped breaking down so often. Consider how we measure performance to ensure that this does not lead to unexpected consequences. O is for overproduction. The costs of running machinery or services above the rate needed by the customer is waste. It's where we do more than is requested or required. This is where we produce more than what is needed, faster than it is needed, and hold on to excessive inventory. This can be caused by having high-capacity equipment above the needs of production, by poor production planning scheduling, or by incentivizing workers on the wrong tasks. So when you're doing your Gemba walk, consider whether there is overproduction taking place. Ask, how much is being made? How fast is it being made? Will we need all that is being made? W is for waiting. Waiting occurs in all businesses and can be as simple as being late for meetings. In an industrial setting, the problem may be a result of material issues such as damaged machinery or delayed raw materials. In these environments, it is important to analyze the cost of the waste and calculate how long it would take for a capital injection into new equipment to pay off. If waiting is an issue, you would notice that people or machinery are spending time idle while they wait. It's the dead time. This can be caused by unsynchronized processes and line imbalances, overstaffing or understaffing, or simply by poor allocation of labor across a project. So when walking the Gemba, let's consider who and what is spending time waiting. Ask, what are they waiting for? What is the holdup? What or who is waiting? During a recent Gemba walk, the manager noticed technicians in a queue to use a piece of equipment. It turned out that there were 2 of these machines, but one had been broken for several months and still couldn't be fixed. The machine was not expensive, so the manager decided to decommission the broken machine and order a new machine to reduce the holdup. N is for non-utilized talent. We have high-skilled individuals. How many of them are wasting their talent doing work a machine could do? These people could be focusing on the high-value tasks which they want to do, can do, and that contribute most to the business. Workers who feel like they have ownership over the process they use are likely to engage with these processes more and provide better output. Ask, how do the people feel about the process? What is hindering their work? What is helping them work better? T is for transportation. Businesses are full of moving parts. These parts could be equipment, products, workers, or documents. Transportation waste can be seen when there is unnecessary movement of products from production to sale or unnecessary movement of materials, products, tools, or equipment in the production process. This can be caused by poor route planning, complex material flows, or simply by disorganized workplaces. When you visit the Gemba, look out for things that are being moved around and the impact of them. When things move, things wear out, people can be hurt, and things can get lost. Ask, what is being moved from place to place? What is happening when it moves? How long does it take to move it? I is for inventory. Holding too much inventory can slow down a business and create problems in storage. This is where we have excessive amounts of inventory or excessive amounts of raw material or equipment. It is often the direct result of overproduction. Ask, how many raw materials are being stored? How much equipment is standing idle? M is for motion. This is one of the most obvious forms of waste. This is where there is excessive movement by workers in the production process. Wasted movement can be a result of poorly organized factories or service assemblies where workers need to walk around the space to gather equipment or tools to complete their tasks. It's the human element of production flows. Ask, how are people moving? How is equipment moving? Could movement be reduced? In a busy bar, the most popular spirits are kept at the front of the bar, just out of sight of the customer. When the customer asks for a drink, the bartender does not need to turn around and find the spirit. They simply pull out the bottle which is already in front of them and pour. This small change reduces the time it takes to serve each drink significantly, raising the bartender's productivity. In a quiet bar, this might go unnoticed, but in a busy nightclub, it could drastically increase sales. E is for extra processing. A constant search for product perfection can sometimes lead to a product being overprocessed. This can come from a misunderstanding of why customers buy your product. What looks better to the product designer might look worse to the customer. Failing to grasp the customer's conception of quality may lead to overprocessing a product or service. Having an unclear understanding of customer product satisfaction, an excessive focus on refinements and detail, frequent engineering changes, and unclear or poorly documented work instructions are examples of extra processing. Ask, what does the customer really want? What are we adding to the product that the customer doesn't want? How perfect does it need to be?